What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Now, today we're doing another Regionals question and answer video, and this time we have Kevin Baxter's Top 8's interview, and this was at Ontario Regionals. There we go. I forgot for a second. But it's Ontario Regionals, and he used the Primal Groudon, Hawlucha, Landorus, and Dedede deck, and all these techie cards he played, like the 2 Focus Sash, the 1 Spirit Link with 2 Muscle Band, 1 Silver Bangle, the Scramble Switch. It is a very techy list, but it seemed to work for Kevin. Obviously, he did make top 8 with it. But just give me a second, you'll see his day 2 list. Alright, so for day 2, as you see, Kevin switched to a whole new different deck. He actually switched over to the Mega Gardevoir Aromatisse Xerneas deck with Wonder Energy, and once again, Wonder Energy is used for so you don't have any effects of your opponent's attacks except damage done to a fairy Pokemon this card is attached to, and this is because the Selgar was one of the most hyped decks for day 2, so that's why the Wonder Energies kind of get rid of that. And he talks about the 2 Fairy Garden because most of the time you want to play 4. Like, 4 is definitely the standard, but he talks about why he does play the 2, but hope you enjoyed the interview, and thanks for watching. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we're doing a regionals question and answer video. And what's your name?
I'm Kevin Baxter.
And what regionals are we talking about?
I went to the regionals in Kitchener, Ontario.
Okay. And we know that you played the Primal Groudon deck for day 1, but what were some of the decks that you played against, and how did you end up doing against them?
Alright, so round 1, I played against Verzine Genesect with Raichu. And the tournament was kind of weird in that there was like a repair almost every round. So we like sit down and set up, and then they announce that there's going to be a repair, and like almost everybody's going to get repaired or something. So we like pack up our stuff and get up, and they post the new pairings, and we're paired again in the exact same spot. So that was kind of annoying. We had to like go set up again.
Like everybody was, or just y'all two?
No, it was like half and half, I think. I didn't really pay attention to other tables, but like a bunch of people got repaired, but some didn't.
Okay.
So, yeah, so apparently his hand the first time we set up was better than his hand the second time we set up. Mine was like average both times, but basically he just like didn't, like, I forget if it was game 1 or game 2, but like, in one of the games, he had to Emerald Slash his first time to a Virizion. In the other game, he like started with Deoxys and couldn't get it out of the active on turn 2. So like he just kind of had a slow start, and I got Landorus going on to snipe the bench guys and just get enough damage that Hawlucha could clean up at the end. So he got some unfortunate draws. I ended up taking that first round. Second round, I played against a Night March, which is usually a bad matchup, because like they can just go stream pump caboose and I like can't even knock them out, because Groudon's just too slow. You can't go for it. You have to just go with Landorus and pray. But between like Silent Lab shutting off Mr. Mime and like I kept him off of attacking a couple times because he couldn't get Dimension Valley, and then actually in Game 1, I got both of my Focus Sashes onto both of my Landorus EXs, so he had to 2-shot those, which helped. So I ended up actually winning Game 1. Game 2 went like how it should. He went first and got like everything in the discard and just kind of rolled me. And then Game 2, it was close again, because I got the Focus Sashes down again and the Silent Labs. Ended up going to time when we both had like 3 prizes left, and so I definitely wasn't going to be able to take 3 prizes unless like I hit Lysander back to back or something. Like I probably wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
He had a chance to do it, like so he was turn 0. No, he ended up being turn 3. So I was turn 0, he was 1, and then he was 3 again. So he like hit basically the nuts off of I think I end him to 3 or whatever, but he like got a Juniper, and I still had a Focus Sash on my Landorus, so he like knocked off the Focus Sash, and then on his turn 3 he killed it, and went down to one prize. And so he was kind of new and like didn't know how ties worked and stuff. So he thought that by going down to one prize, he was ahead in prizes and won the game. So like we had to call a judge over and explain that no, the game didn't finish. So I ended up squeaking a tie out of that,
Okay.
which was better than I expected. Yeah, so I was 1-0-1, and then I played against Evil Tall Seismitoad Gardevoir.
Okay.
And he like started Toad and not much else. Like he was kind of slow to get Evil Talls up, and I eventually got a Groudon. I killed his Seismitoad with the Groudon. He couldn't revenge kill my Groudon. He had to like Y-Cyclone into it. But then the next turn, I didn't have a stadium, so I switched my Groudon back to the bench and like sent up a Halucha and just started like attacking with that.
Okay.
And he didn't. I think he was also kind of new. He didn't realize he couldn't Lysander Groudon. So like he was trying to set up a big Evil Ball to Lysander my Groudon, and then just couldn't. So then the next turn, I Lysandered his big Evil Tall and killed it with my Groudon.
Now, did he actually like try to Lysander your Groudon?
He like asked to read it. Like he was doing his play, and then he was like, "Can I read that Groudon?" And I was like, "Sure, yeah." So and then your trainers don't work on him. He's like, "So I can't like Lysander it."
Oh.
No.
Okay.
So yeah, so I took game one, and in game two, he was like getting multiple Evil Tall EXs and stuff, like you should. So just like try to two-shot it when I bring it up.
Yeah.
But I ended up taking 4 prizes with the Groudon. He had to two-shot it, and then Dedenne actually cleaned up at the end by killing an Evil Tall. So Dedenne definitely pulled its weight in that matchup, which is what I put it in for, obviously. So I went 2-0-1, and then next round I played against a Plasma deck. That was pretty weird. It had like Curums and 2 Genesects, and actually had basic Grass and basic Water energies.
Huh.
So like it seemed like a counter deck against Toad and I guess whatever else Curum is good against. So that was like going to be really tough because he hit both of my guys for weakness. But I think he only played 1, maybe 2 Frozen Cities as counter stadiums. So I would get my Silent Labs down and his Deoxyses wouldn't work. So his Curums actually weren't even able to one-shot my Baby Landers. So I was two-shotting his Curums with Baby Landers while he was two-shotting me back. And I just got enough energy down to sweep with Groudon. Game 2 actually was really close. He basically just needed... he had like 1 turn where he could bump my Stadium and red signal at my Groudon.
Yeah.
To kill it with Genesect, but he whiffed the Stadium. So he like couldn't bring it up, and I then the next turn had Lysander to kill his only Genesect. So that could have gone either way, but I ended up winning that to go 3-0-1. And then I played against Andre, or was it? Yeah, it was Andre, who ended up making top 8 with Versing Genesect with Raichu. I think it was, if it wasn't the same list, it was really similar to the first round I played against.
Okay.
But kind of the same thing happened where like he wasn't getting the best draws, and I was getting like Landorus, Strong, Muscle Band, just like get a ton of damage down. And I ended up winning I ended up 2-0ing, I believe, like as time was called. So I won that, and then so I was 4-0-1, and I knew if I won the next round, I could ID in the cut easy, not have to worry about it, because the way the like registration worked, we like almost didn't have enough people for top 32 points. Like we were just under 128 people, and then like a few more people came late, so like they had the tournament set up and then made it like 7 rounds, and not top 32. And then people came late, and then so apparently how Tom works, like if you add people late, you don't get that extra round for going over 128, but you still get the top 32 points.
Huh.
So we still had 7 rounds at like 131 people,
Okay.
which some of us were annoyed with because it meant that X11s were going to whiff. So ended up being like 2 X11s that whiff. So I really wanted to win the second to last round, and I get paired against a Toad Crobat deck,
Okay.
which like I felt fine against because it's a Toad deck and I play Groudon, right?
Yeah.
But game 1, I open no supporter. I have my baby Landorus just killed and lose. Second game, same thing, no supporter. I start with Hawlucha. He actually whiffs the laser kill on my Hawlucha, so it like gives me another top deck. It didn't help. Like I just died the next turn. So I lose like a 5-minute 2-0 to Seismitoad, which was I was really mad about that.
Yeah.
Because then I had to win the next round and hope that my resistance was good enough. So the 7th round was actually streamed on twitch.tv/Kemony, Kemnoi. I believe her YouTube channel is going to have them up soon.
Okay. And if it does, I'll post it down below.
Yeah, so you can go watch the games there. It was pretty close. I don't think it had Raichu. I think it was just like a straight VG deck. And game 1, I ended up getting a... Was it... I forget which game it was. You can go back and watch. But like I had a Land's Judgment on turn 3 to kill his Virizion. All he had left was like 1 Genesect, and I just like 2-shot it. Then one of the games, it was pretty back and forth, but I ended up having 1 energy on Dedenne and 1 energy on Landorus, and he like red signals up my Landorus and hits it with Emerald Slash, so he could kill it the next turn with Genesect.
Yeah.
And I go switch into Dedenne, scramble switch the energy onto that same Landorus that I just brought up, attach, and Land's Judgment for the last 2 prizes. So scramble switch won me a game there.
It was dirty.
Yeah, and then so I ended up winning that. Actually, at the end of the last game, it was pretty bad. I thought that I had lost because all I had left was like a Hawlucha and a Dedenne, and he had a Genesect that was just killing everything. And I thought that I had used all of my damage buff tools, like my Silver Bangle and my 2 Muscle Bands, because I had 70 damage on his Genesect. And so I just like Karina, searching for my deck, seeing if there's any way out. And I was like about to grab a Focus Sash and just hope he didn't have Red Signal. But then I saw my second Muscle Band was still in deck, and I had a Strong Energy in my hand. So I just Hawlucha 100 for a game. I felt really bad because it was like, it took me like a couple minutes to realize I had game. It was kind of like a slow roll, but
yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up going 5-1-1. My resistance ended up being insane. Like my first 2 rounds went like 5-2 and 4-2-1 or something. Like my resistance was really good. So I ended up making it 6 seed.
There you go. Very nice. So I guess I got some questions about your deck. I guess the first question is, why did you decide to play Prime and Groudon overall?
I have been liking Groudon in this format for a while, since Executor kind of took over, kind of killed Kyogre. I went back to Groudon because Groudon's good against, so like I thought Seismitoad and Executor were going to be the big decks. Groudon's good against Toad. And then there's a couple things you can do against Executor. And I actually wrote an article about it at 60cards.net. You can go read it.
I'll leave the link down below too.
Where I talk about, I've been working on this Primal Groudon Magma Camera-Up deck, where like the Camera-Up brings back fire and fighting energy from the discard. So it gives you another attacker against Executor. So, like, I was trying to metagame against those two decks. I ended up only playing against one Toad deck, and it didn't even matter because I just got stomped. So, yeah, so, like, the camera up improves your... Oops.
Whoops.
The camera up improves your VG matchup and your Executor matchup. And I didn't think those were... I didn't think there was going to be much VG. And I heard when I got there that there was going to be like way more Seismitoad than eggs, and that there was going to be some Eviltal Garbodor.
Mm-hmm.
So both of those things kind of made me iffy on including the camera ups. I ended up last minute taking out the camera ups just to like kind of be more streamlined and consistent. And I never played against eggs, which was good. I ended up playing against 3 Verzine Genesect, which the camera up would have helped against and probably made them a little less close, but pulled it out anyway. So yeah, I just went with like a straight Groudon. I threw the Dedenne in last second, just as like because I didn't love the Evilton matchup and I thought it might give me the edge, and it ended up being really good.
Okay. Now, did you use the Dedenne for anything else during the whole series, or was it just that one Evital game you used it?
The Dedenne was pretty useful actually against the Verzine Genesect as well, because like when they attack with Genesect, there's 3 energies on it, right? So you get 60 damage right there, and if you have a Muscle Band or Silver Bangle, you can bump that up to help with your 2 shots with Hawlucha.
Mm-hmm.
So it basically becomes another Hawlucha against Verzine Genesect, which is really good. So yeah, it was pretty helpful, even against non-Eviltals.
Okay. Now, you played 2 Focus Sash, 2 Muscle Bands, a Silver Bangle, and 1 Spirit Link. Which one was your favorite tool card?
Focus Ash, you need it against so many things. Like, it's the reason I tied Night March. It's the reason I beat Verzine Genesect, so they can't Emerald Slash kill your Hawluchas. Focus Ash is still really good, even though people like see it coming and know it's there. Like, it's still just really good.
Now, you decided to play Tool. You didn't play Tool Retriever at all, so why was that?
I didn't. It was just like a space thing. I wanted the extra space for... I ended up putting an Ultra Ball in so I could search into Denny.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise I couldn't search the Denny. And it's just kind of like a card that only works when you have a really good hand. Because like you need to like Karina for it most of the time, and then have the other tool in your hand already. So yeah, I just kind of went for a safer play in Ultra Ball to get out the Denny.
Okay. Now, you decided to play 3 Silent Lab and 2 Fighting Stadium? Why did you decide to play more Silent Lab than Fighting Stadium?
It was mostly for Executor, so that you can like make it so they can't get their eggs back from the discard. Mr. Mime is a really big problem for Landorus, so I wanted to be able to shut that off. Mm-hmm. So it was mostly for Executor and Mr. Mime. Red Signal, it was huge against Red Signal because they couldn't, like Verzine Genesect couldn't bring up my stuff. It's just, there's a lot of other things that, like Keldeo, it shuts off, just random stuff that helps your opponent.
Okay. Now, after playing this, would you make any changes to the list, or you think it's pretty solid?
I think it's pretty good. Honestly, I'll probably just end up playing the same thing in Kansas City. Yeah. I don't know, like the Denny and the Ultra Ball are kind of floating spots, so like you could take those out if you don't think there's going to be any Eviltal.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of help out other things. But I don't know, I'd probably keep it the same.
Okay. So, going into day 2, it does switch over to expanded format, and why did you decide to play Gardevoir?
So I heard you interviewed Alex already, so he probably talked about it too, but we were worried about Trevenant Excelgor again, just like I was back in Florida. I want to be able to beat that. And I thought a couple of the people that were in top 8 were going to be playing it. So Alex and I are pretty good friends, so we were hanging out the night between, and we were just talking and like, hey, do you want to just agree that we both play fairies, and whoever wins the mirror, but has a good shot to take the tournament because of Trevenant Excelgor?
Mm-hmm.
So we went with that route. Ended up working out for him, obviously, because he won the tournament. But yeah, I think it was a good choice. He never ended up playing Trevenant Excelgor, but did okay against the other decks in Top Cut. So yeah, I liked the choice.
Okay. Now, were you ever scared that he might like flip over like a Bronzor like game 1 or something?
No, no. I mean, we're good enough friends that I knew like neither of us would turn. Plus, like if you do that and you win the top eight match, you probably lose immediately to whatever you play against in top four. Because like Metal's probably not great against the other decks that were there.
That's true. Okay. So what it ended up happening in top eight?
All right, so our games were actually, well, the series was pretty close. Game one, he just kind of dead drew, and I set up and ran over him. Game two, I had to Juniper away all three of my Lysanders. So that was bad, obviously. Basically, what the matchup in the mirror comes down to is getting enough energy down, but then being able to get ahead in the Gardevoir trade. Like, you want to kill their Gardevoir first. So I was not going to be able to do that because my Lysanders were gone. So he ended up just Lysandering, killing my Gardevoir, and just took 6 prizes pretty straight. Game 3 was like really close because I ended up having to like ditch a bunch of my energies because like I had an awkward mid game where I had to lead for a supporter, and I was going to get Colress, but Colress is prized, so I had to get N because my hand before that was 3 VS Seeker and like 2 energy.
Okay.
So like I had to lead for an N, and I ended up. So I did that, but like I end him out of a bad hand into a good hand. So he like got ahead on that, and then I had another turn where I had to. I was gonna have the Juniper, and I had 2 energies in my hand, and I tapped like a 3rd energy. So I had to attach and ditch my other 2 energy. I ended up only having 1 Wander energy left in deck towards the end, and we were like trading EXs, and we were both at 4 prizes, and he kills my Gardevoir. I have 1 Mega left. He has 1 Mega left. So he goes down to 2 prizes, 2 to 4. If I get that last energy, I kill his Gardevoir with my last Gardevoir, and he didn't have anything else on his board that could kill an EX. But, so like I had Computer Search for the last energy in my hand, but on his turn, as he's killing my second to last Gardevoir, he ends me. He ends me into like Max Potion, Juniper. So I have to Juniper and either get my last energy or my Computer Search. If I get that, I basically win. If I don't, he steamrolls me. I whiff real hard. I don't get anything that can save me, and I just have to pass, and he Lysanders for game. So, yeah, that's how that went. It was pretty close, pretty stressful. I'm happy that Alex won, because, again, like, we're really good friends, and I was glad to see him win the tournament. I was a little salty that I ended up whiffing the last energy and couldn't go farther, but congrats to him.
Yeah. I mean, still top 8 is great at regionals, though, so congratulations.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah. So, this time around, you played... Well, I can't remember if you played fan club in Florida, but you did play 2 fan club here. Why was that?
Yeah, I just wanted to be able to set up early. Like, if you can get a Geomancy onto 2 guys early, it's the best turn 1 you can get. And then going forward, if I were to play against Trevenant, it's really good against Trevenant to be able to search out your basics during item lock. Because all you need to beat Trevenant are basics and 1 energy ever. So.
Yep. Now, you actually didn't play any Level Ball, and you could play that for Expanded. Why did you decide not to play that?
Did I not have a level? I thought I did. Did the list I sent you not have a level ball in it?
No.
Oh. I'm pretty sure I played a level ball. I don't know what the list I gave you was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I guess the question is, how good was the Level Ball then?
It was alright. I don't know. Like, I don't think it made a huge impact in our top 8. But it's a good card.
Okay. Now, you did play the 1 EXP share. What was the idea behind that?
I don't know if you remember Sebastian Inks won Florida with Gardevoir, we both kind of looked at that list and saw the EXP share was good. EXP share is insane in the mirror, by the way. Alex played 2, and that was a really big deal. If I had a second EXP share, like I might have had that last energy at the end, but I only played the 1 in the mirror. The second one would have been really good, but yeah, it just conserves energy and makes sure you get those 1-shots every turn.
Okay. So after playing this list, and I know you only played 1 game with it, but would you make any changes to it?
Well, so my list was really weird because I only played 2 Fairy Garden. Because I knew I was playing against the Fairy Mirror, and one of us was going to drop it.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Don't only play 2 Fairy Garden if you're going to be playing non-Fairy decks. But yeah, other than that, I ended up playing 3 Lysander because of the mirror again. You want to get that first Lysander. Like, that was the reasoning behind that.
Yeah.
You probably only need 2 against most other things. So there's a couple other spots you can work with. Yeah. 4 Fairy Garden is good against everything else, though. I would definitely go back to 4.
Alright. So, after playing Expanded, if you were to do it again, and you didn't know you were playing against Alex, would you still play Aromatisse, or would you think you play something else?
I would probably play Aromatisse, just because, like, if I know I'm not playing Alex, there's a better chance that I hit Trevenant in top 8. So I probably would have been the same thing. Like, Gardevoir by itself is solid against most other decks anyway. It just happens to, have the Wonder Energy support. So yeah, I probably would have played the same thing.
Okay.
And made the list not like completely focused on mirror.
Alright. So after the regionals, how many championship points are you at right now?
That put me at 545.
Woo! Alright. So I guess what is the goal championship points wise now?
As many as possible, honestly. Like, I'm pretty sure this top 8 locked me into the pre-Nats top 16. So, I was definitely relieved to, like, get that so I can have the hotel room and all that. For Nationals, this was my 4th good finish for states and regionals, so I'm kind of soft-capped. I basically have to, like, top 4 to get any significant points at the next 2 regionals. So, we'll see if that happens. Probably unlikely. But I have a couple league challenge points I can get. I have, like, 3 firsts and 3 top 4s. So every league challenge I win will be 5 points. I'm going to try to do that. And then I think, like, there's no way to know for sure, but, like, the after Nats top 16 cutoff, I think is going to be somewhere in the mid 600s. So I'm hoping to be able to then either top 32 or better at Nationals to put me around the mid 600s, give me a shot. Because I really want that day 2 invite, obviously.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, so are you going to both the regionals coming up?
Yep. I'll be in Kansas City and Wisconsin.
Okay. Now, you already said that you think you're going to play Groudon for Kansas City coming up. But for Wisconsin, do you still think that Groudon has the potential to do great in the format?
Yeah, Groudon actually gets a couple cool things with the Roaring Skies. Gets Mega Turbo, which is a really, really insane card.
It's true.
Then you can also do like more of a trainer engine with the trainer's mail and stuff. So I'm still working on that. So I think between like Focus Sash and Mega Turbo, I think you can keep up with the Rayquaza decks with Groudon. So that's what I'll probably be working on for that tournament.
Okay. All right. Well, do you want to give any shout outs to anybody?
I'm always really bad at this. And I know I'll forget people, so I guess shout out Team Hovercats. All my friends. Shout out to Alex for winning regionals. Yeah, shout out to you, Squeaky.
All right. Just let you know, you're the first Hovercat to say shout out to Team Hovercats and not say TM at the end.
Oh, I'm bad.
I don't. I guess because y'all want to trademark Team Hovercats. I guess I don't know.
Sure.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this, and good luck at regionals. Hopefully, you get that top 16 for not for nationals, but for worlds.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
You too.